The quickest ways to put your job at risk is talking negatively about your coworkers. And in a toxic work environment, that can be harder than it sounds. Because here's what most people don't realize. If you're listening and nodding along with the people that are talking negative, this creates the same risk. And in today's job market with AI and automation disrupting jobs everywhere, that's a risk you can't afford. My name is Michael Dugan, and I've spent over 20,000 hours training people how to master their emotional regulation skills, their social intelligence, and their adaptability so that they can stay valuable, relevant in a world that's increasing with pressure every day. In this video, I want to walk you through 4 ways to shut down gossip and toxic talk at work professionally. And the last one usually surprises people because it works without confrontation. Before we get going, the first thing I want you to understand is the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second. If you want to understand the speed of light, talk negative about your coworker or supervisor because it will make it back to them at the speed of light. When you talk negative about people, it's like an echo chamber. The second you say something negative about someone, you lose control of where that story goes. Intent doesn't matter. The impact matters. Now is the time for you to be aware of what you say and how you say it. For years, I wrote down this statement and I lived by it. I only say the good about other people behind their back because I needed to remind myself daily that I did not want to talk negative about other people. Now, not only for them, for me. I knew that it reduced my own personal self-esteem, and I knew that they would pick up my vibe. And this is something you want to be reminded of. That alone will protect your reputation more than most people realize. The second thing you need to understand is that the more influence you have in your life, the better you will do in your life. And the ego likes to judge, so when you're judging your coworkers, you're going to lose influence. How you do anything is how you do everything. If they talk negative about other people to you, do you think they're going to talk negative about you to other people? Yes, they are. We have communication habits and they're normally automated. So what you want to do is give people permission to be themselves, but you have to understand that the more influence you have, the more powerful you'll have. And when you're in a high trust environment, you're going to have more influence. I've been in conversations where somebody clearly wanted me to jump in and go negative with them. And I've learned to calmly and internally say, no, I'm not going to go there. Your anger is your anger. It's not my anger. Remember the saying, misery loves company, and negativity can feel rewarding. When people talk negatively about other people, their body actually rewards them with a hormonal hit. Over time, that reward becomes a habit, and people can become unconsciously addicted to talking negative or being toxic. It's no different than being addicted to anger or outrage. They need a fix, and for some people, that fix is talking negative. When you understand this, it's like telling an addict to not get their drug. You're not going to be able to stop them because they need to get this hit. This can empower you because now you have the opportunity to be the example and the solution to the problem, because either you're contributing to the toxicity or you're helping the toxicity, and people will mimic your example. And this is the greatest teacher you can have. Here's the third point, the part that most people don't hear, and the one that really protects you long term. You need to learn how to be social and antisocial at the same time. Let me tell you what I mean. In life, people like themselves. You have to fit in socially, but you also have to be professional. So it's a weird boundary where you're social when you need to, but you also have the ability to stay focused on the job at hand when you can. And you stay task-oriented and minimize the socialization. Now, the socialization is sincere, but this is where we set the boundaries. Because oftentimes, if you socialize too much, the conversation can go sideways and go downhill fast. And this is where you might say something that you didn't want to say, or even if somebody interprets that you said something that you didn't say incorrectly, it can have a negative effect on your life and your job. So this is where you have to have the ability to stay engaged at work and engage with the people when you have to, professionally, with love. And this brings us to the fourth point, loving is a skill. And remember, if it is a skill, you can get better at it. So who at your workplace do you like the least or demonize the most? Because if you can love them, you can love anybody at your workplace. Human beings pick up on vibes. And if people are picking up that you don't like them, and they're probably picking up subconsciously that they don't trust you, that you're talking negative about them, you are now officially part of the problem as opposed to being part of the solution. If you are in a toxic environment, be aware that as times get stressed, people get more petty and more anxious, so you have to maintain an elevated consciousness, and love is part of that elevation. That's how you protect your reputation, that's how you stay influential, and that's how you stay valuable in a changing workplace. This thinking helps you navigate work more intelligently. Subscribe. This channel exists to help you stay adaptable, grounded, and employed in a rapidly changing world.